Hi, it's Therese from Lostinpaper, and I'm going to share with you just how easy it is to add colour using one of the Altenew mask stencils. So the stencil that I'm using today is called Dotted Blooms, so it coordinates with a stamp and a die set as well. And these stencils are very unique in the fact that they're made out of a thinner material, and you get the negative and the positive portions of the stencil. Now today I'm going to be using the negative portion to add colour to my images. Right, so I'm using my Misty, and I have got the creative corner in there because I want to overlap my stamp off the edge of my cardstock. I'm using some spicy yogurt cardstock from Altenew, and this has sort of a fleck through it. So when you're using different coloured cardstocks other than white, it does pay to check the colours that you're going to be using off to the side, because they will interact differently on different coloured cardstocks and on different textures. I didn't want a black outline for my flower today. I wanted something a little bit more subtle, so I have the Rocky Shore colour and I'm stamping this out. Now this is a water-based ink, and I am going to be doing some blending, and I didn't want it to react again. So how I'm getting around that is I'm actually adding a second layer of stamping over the top in some embossing ink, and then it's simple just to come in with some clear. And it's the crystal clear embossing powder from Altenew, and add a clear layer over top. So that's going to actually have stamped in exactly the same place. Although, did you see? I put my finger in it. I wasn't even concentrating. I forgot I'd even added it. But it worked. It did. It worked. Seriously. So I'm adding the same image yet again. And just to move my image around without contaminating my cardstock panel, I use a piece of acetate to protect it. I'm doing exactly the same process, stamping it with the Rocky Shore, stamping it with the embossing ink, adding the clear embossing powder, and then heat setting it. And it did warp a little, so I ran it through my die cutting machine just with a sandwich, just to help press it straight again. So now it's time to add colour. It's time for the fun bit, and I couldn't believe how easy this was. So these images are cut perfectly to fit the flowers. These ones, like, it's just, they're made for it. Obviously they're made for it. And to line them up was very easy. To add the colour was very easy. You could probably use whatever blending tool you have, finger dauber, blending sponges, but I've got one of the life-changing thingies. And I like it. And I initially started adding the colour with swipes, but I found it was better just to pounce. I could keep the centre of my flowers a little bit paler. And one great thing I found is I could actually easily lift away the stencil and then replace it in exactly the same spot. So I don't know if you've ever tried using stamp masking paper and making a negative image so you can do this kind of technique. It's a pain, and it's sticky, and you can never get in the right spot, and you always end up with white, coloured edges where you don't want to. And this was just so easy. I really enjoyed it, to the point that I actually came in and added a second colour. I didn't need to, but I thought I might as well try it. So I used the pink pearl as my base colour, and then what I did was come in with the rouge, which is sort of a similar colour but a darker tone, and just added that more on the edges. Because I'd embossed the images too, I just used a paper towel to dab away the excess ink that might be sitting on top of the embossing. That sounds right, doesn't it? And how pretty is this flower? I am having fun here. And they've got quite a few options too. Altenew have a few different stamp sets that coordinate with mask stencils. And I tricked you, didn't I? You thought this was going to be a landscape card, but it's going to be a portrait card. Now, It was going to be a landscape card, I promise. I had all good intentions, but I got to this point and I found this sentiment and I had to do this. So I am changing it up on the fly, as you do. So I stamped an espresso sentiment from the Sweet Friends set. I did have to selectively stamp that out, adding this to the front of my card, and then I can stick a sweet wood veneer word on top. Oh, I haven't mentioned it. This is part of a blog hop and there's chances to win. So if you're here in February 2019, head through the link to my blog and you'll find out how you can win, and to the other participants, and find out how you can win even more. And if you like this video, please like this video by clicking on the little thumb up thingy, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.